Welcome to the Mediocre to Magnificent podcast. I'm your co-host, Braxton Matson, and your host, Lee A. Williams, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in because you are what makes this pure magnificence. You are the ripple effect of magnificence, and we are going to bring you a message that will give you insight, inspire you, motivate you, and challenge you to not only grow in your magnificence, but let you know that you are magnificent in everything you do. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Lee,
Yes, sir.
we're back again.
We're here.
Part 3, man.
Part 3.
Part 3 of beliefs to outcomes.
Beliefs to outcomes, man. What do you got for us, man?
Well, it's outcomes today.
You got a recap?
We got outcomes, but the recap, if anybody hasn't seen the other 2 episodes yet, I would recommend going back and taking a look at those because we tapped into the feelings to get to the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took that and we said, okay, how can we go from feelings to an action?
Right.
And it starts with taking the action to understand your feelings. Take the healthy pause.
Healthy
To
pause.
really look at it, to make the right actions, to get where we're going to today,
Right.
which is the outcome.
The outcome.
And like this week, really looking at it, man, I got to thinking, before you take the action, like you really got to know the outcome of what you want to have happen.
I hope so.
And to me, a good example is like we've been doing testing for work on some equipment that we're doing.
Yeah.
And they give you the standard. They tell you what the outcome needs to be to pass.
Already defined.
It's already defined. And so you have to go through the action steps to make it pass. And if you were to look at Webster's definition of what outcome is,
Right.
it's something that follows as a result or consequence of your action.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
It's simple.
It's that simple. So we've been doing this, and we ran the test. Didn't pass. So now you got to go back to the drawing board. But your feelings play a part of it. Because you're sitting there like, oh, man, this thing don't pass.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we going to do? Like, stuff runs through your head. And it's like, I've done this for so long now. It's like, I know that's not going to serve me, having that type of emotion attached to an outcome like that.
Right.
But I do know you just got to adjust your actions.
Yeah.
So you have to take the next step to get a different result. And that's ultimately like what outcomes are. You really have to separate, because I was reading an article where we kind of merge our actions with an outcome.
Yeah.
It's almost like the goals.
Because I was going to ask you, so the example you gave there's a predetermined outcome.
Right.
But there's a lot of things that we encounter in life that we don't have a predetermined outcome.
Yeah.
So you're really wanting to shine the light on having the healthy pause or facing the feelings to create the desired outcome.
Right.
Even though
You may not know what it
in some
is.
instances there's not a predetermined outcome.
And that's part of the whole thing. Because honestly, there was a point where I was like, before I even do an action, I really need to know what my outcome is. but you have to separate the outcome from the action.
Right.
It's a goals are a very good example of this.
Yeah.
You have action oriented goals,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have like really deeper level goals.
Yeah.
So like doing like exercising. A lot of people, they want to exercise or get their movement in
Right.
to become healthier. But their outcome gets so consumed in the actions. They're really dictating, or they're really checking the outcome of their actions and not the true outcome that they're wanting. So it's like, oh man, like say you go to the gym
Mm-hmm.
and you work, like you're on par with it. Like you work out, you go, and it's like that's the outcome though. You're checking the action that you're doing, and you're not like, oh well, I'm doing this for my health or my well-being.
Right.
And then what happens is you're so focused on the action. If you skip that workout,
Yeah.
it's devastating.
It's devastating.
And it's like you've taken this action that you're doing,
Yeah.
and you've made it all about the action and not the outcome. Because when you say, I want to better my health, it's not just about getting your movement in. It's about the meal. So let's say your outcome was to become healthier.
Right.
And say you did skip an exercise or workout.
Yeah.
But your meals are so on par, you're still reaching that outcome. It's just you're so focused on
healthier.
That one action.
Yeah.
And
so what do you think makes people get off on it? Like really takes people off? Because if you say, because I've been in the movement game a while, so when you use that example, it's like my mind immediately goes to there's something called like there's an active rest day. So like I might not have went to the gym and killed the weights and did all kind of high intensity interval training, but today I just went for a hike.
right.
So I'm like in the example you gave, I missed the workout, but I went for a hike, and it was leisurely. Like I'm not trying to get my heart rate up. I'm like
it's just
I'm
going
looking
for a
at
walk.
plants. I'm looking at birds.
Right.
I mean, you know me if you've been following this podcast, you know. But to say the outcome isn't that okay, my overall health and well-being from being outside, breathing the fresh air, doing that didn't get me the outcome. So it's like it did. So you're in that scheme. So you're saying like, oh, we create stuff that's not real.
I think in a way we do.
Because we don't check the emotions.
Yeah.
Or it's not clearly defined what we're saying.
Well, it's a mixture of both. Being clearly defined on the outcome that you want to have is crucial to understanding that you're going to have to make adjustments. Because you could put it as like life. It's never going to be about the destination. It's about the journey.
It's about the journey.
That's how I feel outcomes are. You get a result, and like doing the stuff that I've done from work related.
Yeah.
I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Like I got a result from an action, and if I've got to adjust it to make the outcome better, then I'm going to adjust to make the outcome better.
Yeah. So what if it is something that, I mean, because people say stuff like, it's not personal, but what if it's like, let's do an example that it is more personable. Like if you say like, oh, with my marriage or something
that
like,
could be.
oh, like I want a healthy marriage. That's the outcome, but then you skip out on date night because your buddy says, "Oh yeah, we're Thursday night football, man. We're going to watch the game. You going?" And you're like, "Yeah, man, I want to go." And it's like, and you're there, and it's like, "Oh man, I forgot it's date night." But you said You want a healthy marriage.
A healthy marriage.
And that's the outcome. But then if you were talking to your wife, say, well, don't take it personally.
Oh man.
I just made a mistake.
That's you.
I just messed up.
The first thing that comes to my head when you say I want a healthy marriage.
This is an exaggerated example, just so you know.
Like for me, I would have to just be like if I was talking to a buddy of mine and that's what he said, I want a healthy marriage, and that happened.
Yeah.
I've got to be like, okay, you want this outcome, but man, that is surface level outcome. That's surface level.
That's surface, man. What are we really talking about?
Like, what do you like? Yeah, of course, everybody wants a healthy marriage, but that's surface level.
So it hasn't been properly defined.
Yes.
So that's that's why football on Thursday night with the buddies. I mean, we're exaggerating example, but that's how that happens.
That's how it happens because you've merely just surface leveled it. Like you could say, I want a healthy marriage. There are so many different aspects to a marriage that can be healthy or not healthy. Which one is it? Like, what is the one that you have to feed more?
Right.
To make it a healthy.
Do you have an example?
Well, it could be
for everyone.
It could be just being authentic and making that person feel like she's your queen or he's your king. Yeah. That feeling. It could be just being involved in your family. Like you may be the breadwinner of the family. You may, financially support the family. But that may not be but they may need more emotional support.
Quality time is.
I mean, we could talk about the 5 love language.
Not existent.
But another aspect of marriage is the communication side. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different layers.
So you say you want a healthy marriage, but you're not investing time with us. You're not communicating with us, and you're at your buddies.
Right.
Thursday night football and it's date night. Well,
so let's play this
outcome.
out.
That's the outcome, buddy.
Say that happened. Say that happened. That was your outcome.
That you created.
Because I mean, your outcome or what you thought was the outcome.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. What do you do?
You're asking me?
Yeah. What do you do?
I don't know, man. No, I mean, I'm not even going to act like I don't know. Because to say that I don't want to be the guy that does that, I'm not that guy that does that. So that's why I say I don't know.
You don't know.
But if we're going to go into let's keep doing the theoretics, especially because I'm the one that brought this example. I say, okay, well, I want a healthy marriage. Like, I would have to, especially if I was coaching a client and get serious and say, okay, hey, you need to define what a healthy marriage is. Mm-hmm. Your spouse needs to define what a healthy marriage is. And then you need to come together and compare notes and then define collectively together as one flesh what a healthy marriage is. So the outcome that you want has been defined on every level. Yeah. And if there's been gaps or holes, hopefully with the communication process between the two people, those gaps have been filled. There's nothing left unsaid, stone unturned, so on and so forth. And say, okay, now I know what the true defined outcome is for both of us. Yeah. Here's an action plan to put in to get that desired result outcome. And along the way, controlling my emotions when I have excitement. Like, oh man, it's third, we got a game, man, we got the food, we got the snacks, so-and-so gonna be there, I'm gonna be there, man. Are you coming? Like, no, I'm not coming, man.
You said it perfectly.
I'm not coming.
Like you said it perfectly. Because it's like what we said. You got a desired outcome from that. It wasn't what you expected it to be.
Right.
So you went back, made the adjustments to get a different outcome of the same thing. And it's a back and forth thing with this. It's a back and forth thing. At the same time, you're dealing with your feelings, your emotions, all that stuff plays a factor. And with the marriage part, like we said in the last episode, your actions don't just affect you.
Right.
It affects everybody.
So I would like, because I like playing this role sometimes. I always play this role with Erica. She'd be like, man, what do you be, like, you know, not saying what do you be trying to do, but she knows that I end up playing both sides. You know what I'm saying? I advocate for, I'm like, so what about this? And what about that? And what if that happens? So what if the person goes, I'll just say myself, like this is theoretic because that's not my thing. But if I say, I call my wife and I'm like, hey man, the guys invited me to the game. My team's playing. I really want to go. I know it's date night. Can we reschedule the date night? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, our team's undefeated. They're playing in the conference. It's a conference game. You know, whatever.
Man, you putting it on
Put
now.
it on thick, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you putting it on now.
What do you think that is? Is that possible, or you like that's like?
I think
you
it's
just gotta know. You gotta know.
You really got to know each other. You really got to know. The communication level has to be like almost not even having the conversation.
Because what if, like, when we say date night, it's like, and I might be speaking to somebody here, so it's like, okay, y'all, because I'm so intelligent. The same way that you said, hey, I want health, and I put the action item of going to the gym, but then you'll look at me in my face and tell me going on a hike, I'm devastated because, like, oh, I got so tied up in the action. So then if we transition into the marriage and say, okay, well, we got a date night, but the date night is the same old ho-hum week after week. Oh, we're just going to go over here and do
the same thing.
Right.
Doesn't.
So it's tied up in the action of saying, like,
yeah.
oh, well, we did the date night, even though our heart of hearts is like, I want to be with my buddies at the Thursday night football.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Well, and that, oh man, I love.
We went out to eat. We went out to eat last week. Like, we'll go out to eat next week. Like, I'm going with my buddies.
And that's I love how you put that though, because you've turned this action that you're doing into the outcome.
Yeah.
Like, you've turned going out and eating
or whatever
it is that we do a certain day of the week,
right,
into the outcome when you wanted a better marriage.
Yeah.
Not going out and eating every week at a certain time to invest time in each other.
It's like we check the box. It's like
it's checking the box.
Man, the gym is checking the box, man. That's not going to your
That's
health.
not. That shouldn't be your outcome.
I could meditate for 30 minutes right here and my health be improved.
Right.
But it doesn't. But see, so because people listen, it might be like, oh, Braxton Lee said, I'm going to Thursday night football this week. So because people only hear what they want. The same way they read scripture, they read and they twist it and they turn it to how it applies and works for them in their walk and their life. And it says, okay, that's not what was said.
Yeah.
What was said is you need to define the parties involved outcome each individually and then come together collectively. So that has to be communicated.
Yeah.
At no point did we just point blank say, oh, yeah, just because we've been doing the same ho-hum that I get a pass. That's not what we said.
That is not what we said.
Because especially husbands with their wives, you're not getting a pass.
No.
Ever. I was telling someone just maybe it's probably been 2 weeks now. A woman's love tank empties every day.
Every day.
Man, we get a little more grace. You be like, okay, you're good for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
You know, I'm like, oh, she did this, she did that. It's like, huh, you're good 6 months. Like, that'll hold them over 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Woman, every day.
That's true.
And you said you want a healthy marriage.
There's work involved.
And you're not doing the everyday thing. You're doing the Thursday thing. And then you wanted to say, I don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
I think you're going to win. And the only reason I'm being able to go down that far in this example is because we're talking about outcomes.
Right, yeah.
So people can you can visually see, okay, what outcome did you say you wanted? Because you being in the doghouse.
I don't think that's the outcome you
want. For the next few weeks. I don't think that was the outcome.
No. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's funny, man. So what happens like in this instance, let's just walk down this path for a moment. To say we're at the grocery store and we turn the aisle and the lady runs over your foot.
Okay.
And there's some emotions that come up.
Yeah.
So say like, and I like to dramatize it. So it's like the person's been working, they got off, they're on their way home, they're in traffic, their wife texts them and say, hey, can you pick up this for dinner? So you're like, now you got to get off the exit and go stop at the store. So you see the energy I'm creating, right?
I see the energy you're creating.
Working all day.
It's just
traffic.
Snowballing. It's just snowballing.
And then somehow, like the lady just runs right over your foot. And then we've been talking about healthy pause.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about that. So we need that healthy pause. But then when the lady looks at you as if it was your fault. Like gives you like, man, get out of the way. You saw me coming around the corner with this cart. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that just added another layer to it right there. You talk about taking a healthy pause.
What outcome? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
So it's one thing if it's clearly defined to have certain outcome. So I'm stretching to say that I would love to challenge, especially our people, the mediocre to magnificent audience, is to say, at what point do we choose to not let anything disrupt our equilibrium? Because we could automatically go right into our emotions, right into our feelings, and have an outburst that doesn't serve us. And we're really talking about, I mean, I know there's some people that have very high dollar shoes, very expensive shoes. But if you're just like, okay, well, no judgment, I'm just saying. If you're the person that's in construction, you got your work boots on, and they might be steel toe. So it's like, not even that
like, it ain't even a thing. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, but through the culmination of emotions.
Yeah, not
feelings,
taking the healthy pause.
It's possible you can curse a lady out in the store. And it's like, how? Like, when you look back, it's like,
why did I do that?
What was that about?
What was that?
Now you owe the person an apology. You need to be forgiven because that was foolish.
And I really feel like that example is a good example of how we try to run through this whole thing in one whack. Like, you have to take the pauses. And if you haven't, it's going to take some work to do it.
Some of this, that's why I gave the example, because if I'm telling a story, because I'm a great storyteller, right? So I tell the story, build it up. But then when you look back, the only reason I was telling the story that way is because worked all day, traffic, wife says, hey, can you stop? You're hungry. You come around. It has nothing to do with the lady. It has nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with She ran over your shoe. Nothing.
No.
So it's in those instances and in those moments, can you check yourself? And we've been labeling it, calling it, taking that healthy pause. So you create the desired outcome. So you're not causing a scene in the store about nothing.
Yeah.
So if you had to like recap just for this to say what's the main takeaway that you want people to have from listening to this, what would it be, man?
Mine would be, when you want a certain outcome, don't be surface level with it. Like, really don't be surface level with it.
Like I want to be healthy. I want a healthy marriage.
Like the surface level stuff is, it's.
So can you give me an example according to your physical fitness with your movement to say I want to be healthier? So healthier is surface.
Yes.
What would be the hard, tangible example for the listeners that would say, like, if say my mind's going to, like, if I said, hey, I want to be healthier, but I'm going to be able to do the splits because I've been working on my flexibility, would that be more tangible? Or if, like, say, for instance, it's like, oh, I want to be able to bench press my body weight.
Yeah. That gets more specific with it.
But that's still not what you're saying,
it's
though.
not surface level. Like, it's still surface level.
Yeah,
that's more of an
saying.
Action
Right.
goal to me, or an action outcome that you want to have. For me, like, your outcome of being healthier is not just, it's not just for you, because you got to understand your actions trickle down to everybody else. So my health is because I want to be there for my kids.
Right.
Because I want to be there for my family.
So I'm really wanting to see.
It's like,
what
you got to
is
go
not
to
surface. Like, what if I went to the doctor and got my blood work done, and I had my levels, and I'm looking at all the levels, and then I say, I want to be healthier, and then I'm gonna do the surface level stuff,
right?
I mean the action items, and then I'm gonna go back and run my numbers and be like, oh, they're better. How do you gauge? Not surface. I just want to see.
How do you gauge it?
Yeah, for you. So you tell people what's not surface, so they don't get caught up in, like, oh, well, I went to the gym every day. Well, you're not healthier, man.
Yeah, because I feel like, let's say you did go get the blood work done. You did do all the stuff, the action stuff, to get that to the right level. You go back and it's not better, or it's the same. Like, that was your outcome, but it's like, it's almost like, for me, it's tough. It's tough. It's really tough because there are action related outcomes like what you had depicted, and then there's other outcomes that are more, they help you deal with your feelings more. Like, an action-related outcome, you're getting a result off of what you're doing. But then if you don't get that result, how does that make you feel? Like, for me, if I treated my outcome, even though I did these action steps to do better and my blood work wasn't right, my outcome, my outlook on my outcome would not be as, like, negative, because I'm like, okay, this didn't work because my outcome is I want to better myself, so I'm taking these steps.
Right.
If it didn't work, okay, it's not saying that what I did wasn't wrong.
Right.
It's just saying that didn't work.
Yeah.
So go back. And,
so that's good. So basically, it's what I'm hearing
or work on it.
It's saying don't get caught up in what
you
think
don't get
looks like.
Yes, the results are the results. That's it.
Right.
That is it. That's your outcome.
Right.
Don't get caught up on the outcome.
Yeah.
Be able to take that and change it.
Especially, like, if you're the person that's been sitting on the couch
Yes.
and you're going to the gym,
Like, come on,
and the
man.
outcome ain't what you want.
Well,
you're
you've been sitting on the couch for like...
it's still like, hey man, you're not sitting on the couch.
Like,
anymore,
you're
man.
better than you were before.
Yeah, so don't
It's
get caught up
taking
on
those steps.
Yeah.
And I feel like the next episode, we're going to do the final episode.
As far as this series
Goes, is really going to help tie this stuff back in.
Yeah.
It's really going to help tie all this stuff in.
They're gonna get it.
So, but yeah, man.
We just been throwing stuff out.
Outcomes. Their results. Don't take them too hard. Don't take them like literal. Like, that's a result. Make the adjustments. Check your feelings. Check your actions. And then find the other outcome. And just keep doing it.
Healthy pause.
That's it, man. Life is a journey.
Don't curse.
Don't worry
the lady
about the
out for
destination.
running over your shoe. It's not about the shoe.
It's not. It's not.
That's good, man. I liked it.
Yeah.
Till next time.
This is your co-host here, Braxton Matson, and Lee and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it just as much as we did making it, but we couldn't do it without you. So please hit that like button, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know what topic or subject that you would like us to talk about in your journey from mediocre to magnificent. But most of all, share it. Be the ripple effect of magnificence and know that you are magnificent in everything you do. Till next time.